And the human uses the permission slip provided even when unnecessary. We have chosen this time as you give it to explore a little further some of the nuances, threads, intentions of some of the concepts which were provided in the previous session. And thank you for your continuation of various permissions. And we will throw it out there again that we wish to review, tap into thoughts to obtain context and better ways of formulating our integration procedures for us and others who will benefit from those. We have come to you to find out what is important to each of you in your personal quest for open contact with others outside your physical realm as you pretend it to be. And it is not important that you vocalize that information, but we do allow or ask that you allow us to touch you in the ways which make such meaningful sharings possible for the designs, utilizations, methods we have prescribed to assist in the flow of these interactions.
Welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with open heart and much love. And with that, we're going to move to perhaps, is Mr. Ray available for giving us a message from the tall whites?
I am, but I have to take a small break because I have to get the message from that stone before I bring them in.
Okay, so let's take a 4 or 5 minute break. Is that what you need, or?
I'll let you know what the stone says.
Okay. In the meantime, we can stay here and chit chat, or whatever.
Yeah.
Go on and do your thing.
I can't imagine it would be longer than a couple of minutes, but like I say, I'm not in control here. I'm just doing what I'm told and reaping the
Sure.
benefits that I hope to share.
Sure. Very well. We will be very patient here for sure.
Woohoo!
Yeah. We got some people in the back that we haven't heard too much from today, but maybe they'll be inclined to say something here. I'm talking about you, Heidi. How are you doing, Heidi?
I'm good. I'm having a very different experience than I'm typically used to. So,
Do you
but
care to comment on your experience, or is that something that you're not prepared to?
no, I'm fine commenting. It's very synchronous. When I first logged on, I thought, okay, I got to come up with a question, but then I heard you're not going to be asking a question today. And I was like, I'm not. And then I started to get very tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then I laid down and I fell asleep for a half hour while the session went. And when I woke up, I woke up and within a few seconds, Chris was talking about in the dream state and exchanges that are made in the dream state, and we may or may not remember them. Now I don't remember. I don't remember what I dreamed about. I don't remember anything. And it was one of those sleeps where you have no idea how much time has passed. Well, I guess all sleep is like that, but sometimes you kind of have a feeling like I didn't sleep very long. I had no idea how much time had passed other than I knew that the hour session was still going. So that's why when I put my camera back on, I just started laughing because it was so very synchronous, you know, and then just the beautiful energy of of grandmother Charlotte and Mother Grace, and just I hope I said that correctly.
Hmm.
But just their beautiful messages and oh, well, all of the messages. But just that I don't know if I'm projecting, but I just feel like such a motherly loving energy from them to all of us. So yeah, it's been such a beautiful session.
Good.
Yeah,
Always delighted to see you and
thank
the energy that you share. Thank you.
so I'm getting
Will,
my
how are you
crystals
doing? Willow.
ready.
Yeah, say that again. Um,
Oh, I just said, so I'm getting my crystals ready and
well, I thought that you'd be interested in that subject matter quite a bit, actually, uh, for a whole bunch of reasons. You have expressed that in the past, your affinity to crystals and messages and so forth.
yeah.
So
So thank you for all of that.
you're welcome. Okay. So I'm kind of scanning here. Willow, how are we doing?
Very good. I feel very relaxed and peaceful, which is quite different for me because usually I'm buzzing with excitement all the time. So I think the energy today helped to ground me a lot because there was a lot of talk about the earth and connecting with nature and the wisdom from the beings that don't have voices, the nature beings. So that was helpful for me. And it was just nice to absorb everything on a more multi-dimensional level and allow my conscious mind to sort of go on silent for a while and just absorb things in different ways.
There were
So I
some
found
very
it
good
very
messages
helpful.
also about, we want open contact. We better get ready for it.
Yes.
At large, so somehow we have to be a positive influence to our little environments, little world, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Getting everything ready for what's about to come.
I happen to think that every time that I've experienced you, I feel what can I say? The magic of
Oh,
joy, which I saw a lot tonight with Brother Francis too. You know, he has that child in him working really well as well.
yes. I definitely feel the
Okay, so
inner
here we
child
have
of everyone.
That's this is the stone. And it has 5 or 6 different faces on it, including a kind of weird 3 dot inclusion that has 3 different types of stuff in it. It looks like a like kind of like a like a die, but it has 3 different kinds of stuff in it. They're all 3 different colors. And the message it gave me was that we are not, it wasn't from the tall whites. The tall whites were utilized to give this to me. We are not of your, whatever they said, experience, but we support your mission. It wasn't, that's not exactly correct. It was part me, part mission, part maybe Earth Collective or whatever. We are not going to be in your experience, but on behalf of other beings, we wanted to say hi. I don't know. Maybe it's like some far off fan club or something. but it was really cool energy, I gotta tell you that. And and also, I don't know if you've ever picked up a stone and you said, "Oh my gosh, this just fits my hand so well." It's a marvelous thing.
Could you put it closer to the camera so we can kind
I,
of appreciate it better and just
well,
hold it steady for a second? Maybe the camera will, right there.
Hmm. Yeah, there are faces in there.
Yeah, plenty of
well,
Right
faces.
at the
I'm gonna,
bottom.
I'm just going to. And this looks like a buffalo or something.
Oh my God. Ray, you got lots of faces, and one that comes to me is an ET kind of face.
Hmm.
Ray, you
ET
see,
got a face
one
and
thing that
reaching
we
out.
didn't talk about here is that there are stones out there that they're not of this earth. Okay, they're fragments from meteorites, and they're
Perfect
scattered in
face.
more places than we're told.
Yeah, and,
Uh,
and then it on the bottom, it looked like it has like a glyph of
hey,
some
hold it
kind
steady.
or
So,
whatever.
yeah, well, I see other faces in there.
Yeah, it's like I said,
Yeah,
I saw 6 or 7.
yeah,
So we'll see who comes through.
sure.
Well, yeah, yes, Willow, if you unmute, you can ask a question.
Well, I was just thinking, what if that rock sort of acts as a ship for those beings to travel in? You know, it's like a craft encasing their energy. So they're kind of looking out of the rock. And that's why you see their faces on the surface of the rock. It's
Eh,
like encapsulating all of their energies in one singular object.
That's a great idea. And one of the things which came to me early on in my metaphysical exploration, because when I made myself available for any beneficial being which wished to share my physical experience, there were beings who had never had or considered a physical experience. But what ended up happening was they would end up obtaining that experience from other beings which they were associated with, which obtained that it was, like a chain letter that went through, and they were able to pick that up, and they appreciated that opportunity and left me energetic calling cards at times because it was so weird and foreign.
That's so interesting. And it
Yeah,
totally
and
makes sense because beings will have, they will access whatever they are vibrationally compatible with. So if there's some
yeah,
information they want, but it's not in the correct form
12
that they can
seconds, right?
receive it in, they'll, yeah, yeah.
So, anybody that wants to chime in about anything tonight can do so right now. Oops,
I missed my tea. Sorry.
that's okay.
Or maybe
You know,
maybe it was
we just
calling out
asked
to
to
me.
see if anybody else wanted
Maybe
to.
we were calling to each other. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody wants to answer to my call, if not, I guess we move on.
Yeah. And I am very curious about this part myself. They did come to me earlier today with other information. And I have been putting that in that shared G drive for those of us in the messenger group too. So um, let me call them in.
Yeah.
And the human uses the permission slip provided even when unnecessary. We have chosen this time as you give it to explore a little further some of the nuances, threads, intentions of some of the concepts which were provided in the previous session. And thank you for your continuation of various permissions, and we will throw it out there again that we wish to review, tap into thoughts to obtain context and better ways of formulating our integration procedures for us and others who will benefit from those. We have come to you to find out what is important to each of you in your personal quest for open contact with others outside your physical realm as you pretend it to be. And it is not important that you vocalize that information, but we do allow or ask that you allow us to touch you in the ways which make such meaningful sharings possible for the designs, utilizations, methods we have prescribed to assist in the flow of these interactions. We have established the substation. The channel has inquired of us earlier, which will make these encounters less taxing for all involved. And your appreciation of the consciousness which is establishing a midway intermediary mediumship with us to enable the more natural, efficient flowing of this exchange. It is not necessary, but positive energetic support, and we use that judgmental term for your benefit, has a supporting and enlivening and potentially expansive effect on those types of energetic creations, even if they may not be able to comprehend. It is the energy which is important. There is some time yet before the recognition of interactions between us and we shall not complete that thought. There are constraints which are helpful in maintaining your presence without having such details to allow the more natural unfoldment. But know all of this information, which we may choose not to provide you at this time, is available to you, as all information is, if it is relevant and allowed. We draw inferences from the questions which are contemplated, and we would like to entertain those questions from you to help us help you. We would like for barriers to be removed that you see in your personal life, things which stand between are merely energies to be reassembled in more conducive ways. And we thank you, for we are learning.
There's a question from Christiana.
Greetings. Thank you for the co-creation and for the offer of friendship. You mentioned earlier that you were interested in learning about each person's intentions. Did I understand that correctly? Like with regards to contact with star nations?
The language which we have to entertain is not always precise. We wish to explore how each human feels that their roles may be in regards to contact, which will help us extrapolate probabilities in some way on how best to integrate the matching pieces which flow easily or more easily into your societies a little at a time. And the channel has picked up on another aspect of our mission as he became aware, attracted. The information on hybrids between many species, including ours, which is another cause of interest of ours in this integration into the future which humans become. We understand humans find such disclosures helpful or interesting.
Personally, I look forward to many co-creations with as many star beings as possible. That is, I have quite big plans. So that is part of my excitement.
We suggest that you narrow your field of thought possibilities to the beings which will benefit you and benefit the various missions more efficiently. We always err on the side of flow, so there is no error. And we have achieved our aims and are grateful for adding to our experience in this way. And we look forward to further mingling of energies in new ways, which shall mean more to you when the time has arrived as you will it. And we remember to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Oh, that's worse than trying to take off a wet pair of jeans. Oh, holy shit.
These interactions with the tall whites are becoming longer, Ray, for you? I'm talking about the personal ones that you're having.
Oh. One moment, please.
Okay,
Ah.
take your time.
The personal sessions that I have, they do not see any necessity for recording or speaking. When they can just give me the ideas, instruct me to put it down, and communicate another 4 times that information in a download that goes to reference to it to help me explain it later on when it pops up, or whatever else the purposes are. So let me see what I'll give you a glimpse. Let me see what I did, what they gave me today,
Well,
which
I
was,
was
go ahead.
interested in whether the communications are getting a little bit longer with you, you know?
I mean, my recovery time was a little bit shorter, I think, and I noticed that their um, speaking ability flowed so much faster
Right.
than
I
it
noticed
had
that too.
previously.
Yeah.
So,
But you're doing it quite frequently now, right?
yeah, whenever they want to come through, and they are always here. So, um, it's not like they're not ready, but they have realized, because they've given me things to do and I have other things to do. So they understand that it's going to get done, and that's why they kind of told me there are others. So they have a mission, and they're going to get their mission done. And to the extent where I can participate and help them, then that is it. But if it requires more, then they are going to fulfill their mission, and it's going to flow naturally, and that's what we do. And there is nothing else to that in my experience. Oh, today they told me about the substation. Yes, they told me their substation will be an energetic, non-physical form of limited consciousness, which can receive, transmit, and store the frequencies required to send and store messages. And they will then be able to read the mind of that consciousness and seemingly respond in our human time.
So it's sort of like a transformer that is interface to them and to us at different, a more appropriate vibrational connection to us and a more appropriate vibrational connection to them, some translating in the middle.
Yeah,
That
like
sort of thing.
remote viewing. They just set up, a game camera that can transmit back, and they're just viewing it remotely, so it's more efficient for them because they don't have to expend all this energy. They don't have to expend energy at all for the most part because they can tap into this at any time because they are outside of time.
Sure.
So that's my take anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And thank you all for supporting all of this energy and stuff like that, so we can talk about this stuff and have people ask intelligent questions. And golly, I mean, think about how many of these conversations we've had around holiday dinners. They would not remain peaceful very long, I don't think. I guess that depends on your family. I don't want to make any inferences here, but
You better have a small family.
yeah.
Ray, are you talking about them having like a telepathic or connection to people? Is that what you're saying?
I can't vouch for them. That's what they do to me. But when they said that, they're asking, and none of the words about what they wish to do with thoughts mean what they intend to do. Basically, they just want to scan everything, see if they can make sense, and use what's there to make better sense of this over here. Kind of like developing a learning language model or language learning model, whatever way you want to call it. And it's the information and who it comes from is irrelevant. It's how it helps them to integrate and learn more and increase their understanding of humanity.
So I'm getting the impression, and please correct me if I'm getting the impression, non-biased, non-judgmental observation.
Yep. They,
Just information gathering, learning. Is that
yeah.
what they're looking for?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm sorry, go ahead, Luis.
I'm just going to say pure discernment. Pure.
Yeah. Because, I mean, if you look at the English language, now, if it was another language which was not fraught with all of these potholes and misdirections and double entendres and whatever else we have, like we said last time, they used the phrase real time, and they had a big chuckle about it because of how ludicrous it is. Because I have the phrase real time in my head when they know that I know that all time is simultaneous and time is not real, and yet I still use it to explain and refer to things, which when you're a pure, I'm not saying pure, but when you're a consciousness that only deals in the now moment and everything that exists as it is in a total acceptance way. And you're able to anticipate those energetic flows because that's the nature of your being. So you can support and add a little bit here and whatever to keep everything flowing. It's it's just a different perspective. It it's
It's
incredible. And I don't even know that I can really explain it, but they don't like our language. I can guarantee you that.
Well, it's inaccurate. Our language is inaccurate because I don't know if we realize it or not, but half the time we don't say what we're thinking anyway. We're
Hmm.
lying to ourselves, because we have all these social structures in place about how we want to be a good person and everything. And when you are thought to thought, you get to the point where it's like, I don't need to hide anything because there's there's no way to hide
Yeah,
anything.
not
And
just
it's
thought to
it's just
thought,
all
but
pure communication at that point. Then it
yep.
becomes pure communication.
But
So I can
emotions,
see
when
why
they
they
can read the emotions that are
yes.
behind the thoughts as well.
Yes. Then
Yeah.
you can really understand their intention because even, thoughts we're so programmed with language that even our thoughts get translated into language in our minds. And so when you can feel the emotion and you get the real intention. So I can see why they don't like language.
Yeah. And
Human
I
has
will,
this, yeah, sorry. Human has this thing about their communication that sometimes people are using the same terminology, but they really are talking about something else. And they can have a conversation, kind of, until one of them may get angry at something the other one said, but they can actually have a conversation and they're not really talking about the same thing. It's a
and
very interesting thing.
And I do want to add one of the overlays that the tall whites were looking for was to fine tune their ways of obtaining information. They apparently had a large enough sample size that was diverse enough to allow them to set some parameters, and they were testing out in ways some of their equipment methods, processes, and I'm starting to talk like them now. Um, so, so it would make their processes more efficient going forward. It's like, oh my gosh, they're always hooked on process improvements, is the way I'm thinking. I don't know, unless, because when everything flows the way it's supposed to, their minds are off elsewhere and they pay no attention at all to what's going on when they're doing all of this complex, intricate weaving with all of these various energies. And I can't even wrap my head around it. It sounds ridiculous to me just hear it come out of my mouth because it's so outside what I can bring into my 3D, 4D, whatever it is realm.
So it's kind of sounds like it's second nature to them, kind of like us driving a car, and you get to your you get to your destination and that it was so automatic that you don't even remember half of the
Well, it's
half of the journey.
And I think it's more like crochet or needlepoint, where you could be doing all kinds of things and doing Sudoku in your head while your hands are just busy, creating all of this stuff because you have the energetic flow of creation, which is coming through you. And once we take that consciousness out of it, it just goes wild. I love that. And we all love that. That's one of the feelings that we're always searching for. Everybody likes it when we get those moments when we just zone out. We're like, oh my gosh, this is really fuzzy and warm, and I love this. And I don't know that I want it to end. And somebody says something to you, they mention your name and say, yeah. And you're like, well, shit. I see that's common. Anyway. But yeah, they were pleased. Willow, please chime in.
Sorry. I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the whole evening, but I do have to sign off now to go let my little dog outside. So
Yes,
thank you
I
for all
need to
the
do that myself.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
and all the
Good-
channeling. It's
Good night,
wonderful.
Willow. Thank you.
Much
Yes,
love to
We'll see
everybody.
you
appreciate it.
soon again.
Thank you, Willow. Bye now.
So I want to welcome Simone into our group. She came in late, partially because I forgot to send the link.
Oh, the nerve.
She's in Colorado, and she has an interest in what we're doing. She's a channeler herself, among other things, of course. She's got a multitude of things. Anyway, so we welcome her, and
Yay.
you're welcome to say hello to the group, if you would.
Hi.
Hey.
Sorry that I made it at the very end. I really would have loved to have seen what was going on, but the energy feels really awesome. So
Yeah.
thank you.
The group meets every Sunday, and the link that I send you is good for every Sunday. So
Okay, perfect.
feel free to join us for sure.
And thank you for adding your energy as well.
Yeah, she caught you right probably the last few minutes. So
Right as you looked like you were coming out. So
there you
Yeah,
go.
that is not the most pleasant of experiences, but they know I don't care, so they don't care. So, and that's the way we both like it. But yeah, but they are making progress. I like that fact.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
sure.
I mean, that's a natural way of things, but it's nice seeing how that progress is manifesting in only one, public engagement, I would guess, since Thursday. I mean, that was the only first one for the group.
wow.
And this just came on at the beginning of May. Is it Simone, or how do you?
Yes.
Okay. So
Oh,
yeah,
so
this
you've
is
only started
no,
you started in May.
the tall whites came in, and the hybrid children both
You
came
may
in
want to
May.
tell your story altogether, Ray.
Oh, would you? Sorry,
Yeah.
I know everybody else probably heard it.
Well,
Oh, you
yeah,
want to
no,
hear it again?
no, he is, yeah,
Ray does not mind being asked that
he
question.
is being very facetious,
Oh.
let me tell you. Once upon a time in a land not too far, no, just I've been involved in channeling. I transcribed sessions for about 3 years, and then the channeler in one session took a hiatus for business and personal reasons, and having two children under 5, and then other people, somebody else stepped in and wanted to do it part-time in the high vibe channeling group. And then I was told to find other people to fill in all the other ones, and that's how our high vibe channeling group came about. And in the beginning of that, I had the idea of channeling myself became more interesting. And then one of the entities said, "Hey, we have a tall white who wants to come through you." And I'm like, okay. And then later that week, another entity, Raven, who is channeled by Patrick Godine, who is a Yael, contacted Patrick and said, "Hey, I'm going to give him a lesson." And she kept bugging him until he actually called me up and we gave the lesson. And she told me to write everything down that came into my head, to show up at the same time every day and clear my thoughts. And I did that, and like they sent me 7 different insects the first 7 days, and it just went from there. And they had me record it on video, everything, all of the thoughts that came to me, so I would have their thoughts coming through myself. Their words would come out my mouth. And then after 3 weeks, I just started speaking whatever came into my head, and it took off then. That was the beings of light. And then in February, I learned from another channeler how to do the Pleiadian contact meditation. And because I have a female counterpart there, and it's far in the future, which is not going to intersect our timeline, but I connected with them. And then I had been inviting the hybrid children and many other beings into my channeling for the beings of light. And the hybrid children said they wanted to be channeled by me. And the Pleiadians said, "We will help you." And then they came through almost immediately after that on the first attempt. And so that was in the beginning of May. And then I got contacted again by the Tall Whites, who are using me initially as kind of a front man to help tell their story and to help them, put them in touch with the individuals who can help them prepare and adjust to interacting with humanity after the humans ascend, because then their vibrational frequencies will be detectable by humans. So they will be forced to interact with us because humans will know. And once humans know, they want this to go on their terms. So they are being proactive and controlling as much of this as they can to integrate with humanity in ways which are more beneficial to everyone involved, because they know, let's say, some humans can be undependable and maybe unstable.
Wow, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and I'm a Leo born and Leo rising, so talking about myself is something which I've given myself several awards for already. You're still muted, Luis. Well, you're muted now.
I was just going to recap all the entities and beings that have come forward tonight through the three channelers. You know, we started with Chris coming through Serge Rambois, 43 years in the business, phenomenal deep wisdom of Chris. And then Brother Francis brought, God, Brother Francis, I forgot, 7?
Yeah, the Akhenaten and I think Nefertiti joined him, and then you had a the Angel of Grace. She was
Angel of
first,
Grace, yeah.
and then you had a new guy that just popped into my apartment and wanted to say something, and that was Balu, Bahlu, but I think he spells it Bhlu. And then there was my late mother, Mother Grace, and then her mother, my grandma Charlotte. And then, of course, you asked the question, and my higher self took over and provided the information. So, yeah, that was a lot. I was feeling it all week. I said, "There's gonna be a."
There was a moment that was very interesting, Brother Francis. You really don't know about it, but Christiana, she was going to ask that question to the Angel of Grace, and then you move on to other entities, you know. And so she put in there, "Oh, the Angel of Grace is now not available." And I said, "No, you can get him back in no time. He's a quick connect guy. He's got him all on the line."
Yeah, I couldn't sleep for a couple of days because they were just piling up in my apartment. I was like, oh no. I just want to do Akhenaten, Nefertiti, my mother Grace, and Grandma Charlotte. And they said, we're coming. There's more.
Well, that seems to be one of Ray's issues. He's got all of them every day trying to make. I want to channel. I want to be the one.
Yeah, and at least they don't smell bad after 3 days, like fish and house guest, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So anyway, that gives a flavor for Simone of what we did here, and this is of course available by video.
and I actually thought about Brother Francis whenever I got done channeling the Pleiadians today, because they were talking about having love hands and consciously touching everything and these people, knowing that you are transferring love energy to everything and feeling that love energy being reflected back to you and how it amps you up. And that I was just overcome with emotion after that one. And I'm like, I for whatever reason that attracted Brother Francis's energy to me. And I'm like, this is something that he would really appreciate and can understand. And then because once you understand that I have all this love energy in me that I can just give out, and I don't actually have to touch people. I know I can focus this from my fingertips and send it anywhere because I am that powerful.
Yes.
And it was like,
Phenomenal.
I think that's my favorite Pleiadian channeling thus far. The
Powerful.
beings of light was on the body image,
Mhm.
About what are you worshiping? What exactly are you worshiping?
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah, it's an amazing day.
Yes.
Amazing day. So that recaps basically the day. We welcome Simone. Simone, we're gonna make available for you, of course, the video of this transmission. The Zoom recordings will be
Oh,
available,
great.
so you can actually, rewind them as much as you want.
And this is the part where you get to tell us about yourself, if you would be so kind. Because they're all laughing because they know how shy I am and how out of character this is.
Come on
I'm
forward,
just
Simone.
about to ask.
So I guess in the context of this, I started channeling. So I started following Abraham Hicks probably maybe like 2009 or so. And then I ran a meetup group for about a year in 2011 to 2012. And I was reading a book that was about how to find your purpose. And the way that I remember it is that the book said something like, the best way to find your purpose is to go inside and ask. And so I put the book down, and having come from a Christian background, I said, Dear Jesus, please send me my highest spirit guide. And this energy I was lying down, the energy just flowed through me. And I started speaking in what sounded like Mandarin Chinese, and it was going on for a little while. And I just kind of said in my head, like, hey guys, I don't actually know what you're saying. Can we do English? So it started coming out kind of slow. And then I had a friend come over later, some days later, and I had him ask me questions. Meanwhile, I'm not used to this, and it's so much energy flowing through me. I just have to like lay down like I'm in a coffin. And he's asking me questions, and he was like really a student of Abraham Hicks stuff. And he was like, well, this is the real deal. And I told Luis this story. Sorry to you're hearing it twice.
I enjoy it twice or even more.
But
Please continue.
then he set me up with one of his friends, because for a while I was just channeling questions that he had. And then he set me up with one of his friends, and I did a reading for her, and she was asking about getting back into creativity, something like that. And my guides said that it's not like you're learning how to be creative. It's almost that you're getting back into it. They said it's as if you got into a car accident and had to learn to walk again. And then a few days later, my friend called me, and he was like, Simone, I didn't even know that she had actually gotten into a car accident and had to learn to walk again. And so that was the beginning of it. And so I I would do like free sessions and stuff like that. And I've never, and then there was a point. So I finally got to the point where I was able to do channeling, like sitting down. And I've done some group sessions, and I used to do sessions at two places actually. Sometimes I would do 20-minute sessions. Sometimes I would do whatever. But it's something that I recognize means a lot to the quality of my life. And when I don't do it, somehow I think it's important for me to do it. And for me, a lot of times what I suffer from is the idea of, well, I don't know how to predict, like, if somebody's going to get married, if they're going to have 5 kids, because I don't do future projections in that way, although there's stuff that has been said that is sort of can be prophetic, but in kind of more of a vaguer sense. And then and then I'll just compare myself to other people, or like, I don't know how to do the extraterrestrial stuff kind of a thing. But what I do does end up being, from the feedback I've received, impactful for people, as it tends to be about life questions and people's personal lives. And particularly when you do a group session, what is fascinating is the person who's not in the hot seat, the people who are not in the hot seat, who aren't asking the questions, they actually gain more from it because they're not so connected to it, and they can see the blind spots that the person in the hot seat can't see. And so a lot of times there's a lot of wisdom that comes through. They use a lot of analogies. And oftentimes after a session, somebody will be like, that analogy has this specific meaning to me. But it's a lovely experience. You feel really grounded after doing it, very expansive. And I just want to do more of it, because when I read some of the stuff, because what I'll do is I also do sessions for myself, and I'll record the stuff and then send it to, it used to be 10 cents a minute, but now it's 25 cents. Send it to temi.com and get them to transcribe it. And sometimes I'll go and reread them, and I'll be like, oh, all right, guys. Wow, all right. But yeah, I just think it's an important part of my life, and I'd like to get into it. And I just have to understand that I may not be able to do all the things that everybody does, but there are people who benefit from what it is that I can do. So
Everybody does something different, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's true of the people that are in the group as well. So.
Yep. Excellent sharing, and I know Brother Francis is going to weigh in on this.
Yes. I was trying to be quiet. Yes, it's I've been channeling since a little before 2000. And I from Long Island, and I used to have a group of people come every first Sunday. And I taught also, meditation in New Jersey and all this stuff, and numerology and tarot. And then all of a sudden, I just started switching into beings and bringing forth beings. So at some point, I was on Long Island first Sunday, and I had my students who would travel in 3 groups from New Jersey. They would show up at like 10 o'clock. I was like, you can't come this early. You're not supposed to be here until like 11. And after a while, my landlord said, it's okay. It's okay. They're waiting upstairs to come downstairs. I said, okay. So I used to do that. And then the people from Jersey asked me to do a second Sunday. So I did one in for the New Jersey crowd. So I was channeling twice. Not also during the week when I would teach meditation, I would just start channeling the Angel of Grace and many others. So it's different, but we're all on the same page at the same time. We're just I'm beginning to understand it, that when everyone is channeling, we are the different aspects of the prime creator that's bringing through information. So don't worry if you're thinking that it may not be the same. It is just, it's like a facet of a diamond. So many of us on the different facets of a diamond, and every now and then we're inside the diamond in different inclusions inside that crystal. And so the creative force of the universe is just asking us to do our part, and our part is, when it comes to you, it comes to you. And like I said, I had the 7 coming to me all week, and I would say, I don't know if I could channel all 7. I'm gonna get blown out. And they said, no, you won't. Each one is gonna come and it's gonna feed you this energy. And eventually, whoever's coming last, you'll be just literally more wide open than what you think. So it's okay.
I think, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. You're just being yourself.
I think too, what I'm recognizing is being around more like-minded people, because one of the things too was there's a lot of I used to work at this place, and they would ask all of us readers and stuff, and they would say, what is your muggle job? And it's kind of like that, like being around people who don't, I just need to find more of people who understand this stuff. Like one of the other things that I do, and I notice in myself sort of a reservation in terms of saying it, is I do I there's also a set of guides that come in. Boy, they're great. That it comes in, I speak, you will hear me speak in Chinese. I'm hearing the translation in my head, and then I pause and I tell you the translation in English, and then I go back in. And it's just, I love doing it. It's an amazing experience, but it's also in my brain would be like, that is so weird. You really can't tell very many people about that. So just keep that to yourself, you know. And I've really only done it
Oh,
with
that'll be the big feature here, Ray.
with very few people. That I've, but it might only be like one or two people maybe that I've, no, that's not true. I did do one group session where we did try that. But so in any case, it's that kind of a thing. And it's just, I'm sort of getting more to a place as I see time move on. I feel age, I feel all of these things, and recognizing, you know what, it's okay if people don't get it. It's okay if people think it's crazy. It's okay if people think whatever it is. It's my whole point is to be here, to be the expression of what it is. And I didn't create myself. I just am what I am. And channeling is something that I have been doing throughout my life without realizing it, whether it's just intuitively having access to wisdom beyond my years, or acting. When I act, a lot of times it feels like there's energy, you know, coming through. I've even asked for particular characters, you know, that kind of a thing. So it is who I am. And it's just wanting to step into that, because what I notice is that when actually this, I had received this in a session, is when you cut off your creativity like that, you're creating an energetic tourniquet. And you will then start to see manifestations in other areas negatively, because you're not allowing this to flow. It's almost like Chinese foot binding. You know, the energy is still trying to get through, is still, and so then it just kind of, you know, people get cramped up like that. So I just am kind of ready to be fully myself and all of that, and hopefully find more people who, they don't have to do the same thing, they don't, but that are open to it, you
Well,
know.
this is certainly a safe place. We are destined and have been from the inception of this group, a platform for the safe exploration and, I guess, gifts and future gifts, because almost everybody who comes in here ends up expanding whatever gifts that they had and unveiling more of themselves. And it's fantastic. And I was laughing in a way while you were saying that. It wasn't anything that you said, was that I was just totally in awe that if you join our group, we will have 20 people who can channel in our group, representing over 100 different entities. And it just totally freaked me out. And then the hybrid children came in and said that we like this. They were totally tapped into that emotion, and they just wanted to say that.
Oh,
I
thank
saw
you.
you when you were with the hybrids, and the joy, and of course, you know, you. I was gonna say, Ray, give us a message.
They want to say hi. I know no one's gonna stop them. Oh, okay. It's like getting an extra recess. Who doesn't like recess? And there's new people to play with. And we like the new people to play with, because as long as we're playing and there are people, then we like it. We like old people too, but they don't play the same way that new people do. And we thank you for being open to us being open. And we are learning as you are learning. And we are sharing as Well, not as you are sharing. You guys hold back. Anyway, that's okay. You'll learn, it'll happen. You will shed the need to cover up more of yourself because it will be a bit uncomfortable to be vibrationally compatible with where you will be. So don't worry about it, it'll happen. You can just make it easy on yourself if you know what to do. We don't want to touch base on that because it's not so much play. And and we want to hear Simone.
Hi.
If she has a question for us, because this is it is unique. People are all, of course, frequencies and various resonances to us in this particular stage. But hers is interesting in ways we are trying to figure out. So, this, do you have questions or a question? We know we are new, but don't worry if it's been asked before, because we can answer differently and it will be brand new.
I think one of the questions I have is almost like how to be in the world when you feel like you don't belong, when you from young look at the stars and feel like that's where you are. And even as I've gotten older, I'll get these flashes of something that looks like a spaceship, and I see the interior of it and it feels like it's home. And how do I feel more comfortable here?
Allow it. You have one of us on your ship. You have one of us on your ship. You are one of us on our ship. Are you, one of you, part of you is on our ship. That's the ship. No wonder no wonder. Yeah, we answered the call, and it was more than a regular call. It was a special call. Call sign. Wow, this is exciting. Yay. Yeah, they haven't come to play in this manner, in this group. We just know about them now because it made sense. It flowed to us and we are allowed to know. So it came to us. And it was a very happy moment for all involved, for them too, because they sense the connection. Ooh, you sense the connection too. Ooh, reality setting in. Ooh, things are clicking. This is a fun game. We did not expect this. Of course. It was not until now. Ooh. Yay. And all of you are involved. There are rejoicings going on other levels. And you should just go ahead and laugh and have a good time and pretend that you are connecting to it now. And that will kind of help you. But we understand. Okay. Is that all?
If I have the other thing is I want to write and I have writer's block.
Oh, no. You think you have writer's block. In truth, you never have writer's block. You just have parts of you that may interfere. And that's where you need to look. It's like saying, I won't give myself my pen back so I can write. And then you need to figure out why you won't give yourself your pen back so you can write. Maybe it's related to other things. Because especially and sometimes you don't even need your pen. If you just imagine it being finished, and you'll find that it just, you turn around, you do a little here, you do a little there, and also, pooh, oh, look what I did. Isn't that wonderful? It's child's play. Oh, 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 that was a lot. That was a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. We've overly excited ourselves, and it was unexpected. And we will go and say goodbye to all of the people.
Welcome back, Ray.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
You went fast that time.
I'm just glad they don't effing sell cookies, man. My house would be packed. How can I say no to that? Wow. And that connection, that was supreme, Simone. Oh my gosh. It's like that connection, they screamed and it echoed throughout the ship.
So what were they saying? That I'm on the ship? I didn't
No,
quite get it.
I believe you have a hybrid child on their ship. That was that now, and I can just relay it the way that it came to me, but that was when you said you saw that ship. And then the hybrid child and you both saw the ship, and they're like, that's our ship. She's on our ship. And they kind of like, oh my God, not only, it was a huge thing for them because that not only did they figure it out, but they're triangulating all of these connections that are going around. And they're a small group. And they had never really interacted with that other one. I don't know what if it's on, a ship that they were on before, if it's on the ship they're on now. I don't know how that is played out.
Right.
But there was a connection there that they were aware of that energy which was related to your energy. And they did not say it was one of your hybrids. It could be you have a counterpart maybe who is a teacher or a watcher or has some other function on there. So I can't, but that part came, and thank you, Christiana. Thank you. But that, I mean, that's the logical part which came to me, but I don't like spouting off and pretending that it's another source when, it's more mind centered. So,
Right.
but yeah, but I mean, obviously you can always ask.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. Oh my gosh. I did not expect them to come through. And I channeled them early.
Interestingly, I was expecting that for some reason. I don't know why, but I was expecting that.
Yeah, he picked up my phone and called them without me knowing about it. How about that?
I suspect that there are other people that were expecting that too, and they make that phone call too.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Anyway, what can I say? What a night. And we're so glad to have Simone here.
Oh, and what was that transcribing service you talked about, and how accurate are they?
Temi.com.
Is that TEMI?
Yeah. Or did they change the name? I think it's still Temi.com.
Okay.
And it's 25 cents 25 cents a minute. It's fairly accurate. I'd say probably like 90%, but like if you want something, if you want sometimes you can just go through and just listen to it and check to see that everything or whatever. But for the most part, like I can get the gist of, I can understand what was being said just by reading it. There might be a few little things, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really no better really than what YouTube does or Otter AI does. And for the channeling transcripts, I have beliefs, and it's built on many lives that it has to be to the letter, and
But you can go through and edit it.
Oh no, yeah, I know, but I have to go through and match up the transcript with the video and go through and do all that and put in the ums and put in the punctuation, and then I can give it to AI and say, hey, format this for me. But I have to physically go through, and it takes 20% longer than the video.
There's still a lot of steps in all of that. Yeah.
I'm just looking for if I can get like 97% accuracy. I mean, yeah, you say Sirius and I say SIRIUS and you say SER.
They spell things right. If I were you, I would try it out. Just get a small segment and try it and see if for you it's accurate enough. Do you know what I mean? To make a difference.
It also depends on the entity which comes through too.
That's true.
Not so much for Brother Francis because they all pretty much sound the same. Now, the female entities, your grandmother and Grace, both of them sounded different and had mannerisms which you normally don't, in my limited experience, you normally don't show when you're giving your podcast or whatever.
Yeah, well, my podcast is, it's a little different. It's not like here we're in the living room.
That's true.
In the podcast, I'm on the porch or the balcony. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I do get regular people, small set of regular folks. But that's like I just do a 1-page thing or 2-page outline for myself. And when I first started doing those podcasts, there was a lot of other people observing. They said, is he using a script or he just talking from here? And I said, sometimes I have to talk from here because I might write out the script and then it comes time to do it. And then something says, nah, we don't need a script. I said, okay. So, I've been doing it for a while, but you never know, and I've always had pulled back a little bit, but hey, I'm marching through my 70s now. I'm just gonna let it out. Let it fly. So I'm Simone. I'm glad to meet you here this evening.
Thank you.
I've only been here since April, but I've known this youngster here, Luis Dón, for some time ago when I first came to Albuquerque many years ago.
Yeah, he was there when I was born.
Yeah, right. But I saw him and Michelle, and I said, I know them. I know them for way back.
I'm excited to see the recording so I can see all what I missed.
Yeah.
Yep. High vibe channeling. It's you can go on the YouTube.
Once you get fully plugged in, you will not lack recordings. That's for sure.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah. And if you would like to delight us with a session, obviously, and
we're talking about it, Ray.
We can make that go.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. I'm just throwing my support behind it.
One of the reasons why she's here tonight is to take a look at us.
Well, good. Yeah, go ahead and check out a few things, and if you got any questions, don't be shy and only get you overlooked, right? And I don't think we're going to have that issue with you, Simone. So
yeah, it feels maybe because it's not, I'm sure if I saw like a bunch of squares on the screen, I'd be like, oh gosh. But it feels safe.
It is safe,
So
that's
nice.
And it's an interesting environment. It could be like an incubator, it's a crucible, and it is also a free-flowing mixture of personalities, energies. Everybody's contributing to each other. Nobody's being critical of anyone. Oh, that's the way you do it. Oh, okay. I do it this way, but
Mm.
It
Yeah.
flows. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. It flows.
It's high vibe.
And
Hey,
so, you know, and in all of these things, you know, the higher self gets involved, right, Brother Francis? So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
here because the higher self said it's okay to be here.
Yeah.
hey, I
It's
didn't
time.
pick the name for this. It was given to me. So, and they just keep on giving. It's the best way. It's the only way to fly. Not knowing what the hell's going to happen except what you're told and just following your intuition, and everything just flows so effing perfectly for all involved.
I
God.
think that's the beautiful thing about channeling, the beautiful thing about acting is you have to just trust fall into the now moment